People are gathering to celebrate Halloween in a clearing near the well. The local kids are running around, playing with each other, while their parents converse nearby. They sit down to catch their breath after finishing another game of tag, when one of the boys suddenly proclaims that the well is prophetic. If you look into it on Halloween night, it shares in a half-whisper afraid of the adults hearing. You can see in the water not your own reflection, but a prediction of your future. All of the kids are immediately enthusiastic and decide to check if what the boy said is true. They all approach the well together, and one by one look into the pool of water in the well. All of them see something good happening to them, and soon it comes true. One girl, Amy, finds her lost toy, and one boy, Ben, gets a lot of sweets. But when Pete looks into the water, all he sees is his own sad reflection. Good Friday to you, Seekers! My name is Ray, and I'm the Seekers Notes Community Manager. Halloween is coming up, and that means it's time for some scary stories. And what could be better than spooky tales from Darkwood? That's why today I'm going to share some never-before-seen, unused, and somewhat unfinished plot stories right from our favorite city. Thank you to the Writers Department for sharing your drafts with me. So, snuggle up, prepare a warm cup of a hot beverage, and relax. Suddenly, the kids were interrupted by Nicholas, Pete's father. On noticing that the kids were playing around the well, he became extremely agitated and scolded his son for disobedience. He had already stressed how important it was to not get close to the well. Antoine, Nicholas' friend and a local baker, tries to calm the father and his son. As a child, he looked into the well and nothing terrible happened to him. The baker assures them that there is nothing to worry about and suggests trying one of his cakes with a surprise instead. If they're lucky, they will find a coin inside. Nicholas takes a bite and finds a coin with the number 13 on it, and immediately falls unconscious. Saying this, Colonel Hammerstrike, who is guarding the area, first checks the cake and finds that something had been added to it. Antoine admits that he added chili extract to some cakes to play a trick on people, but only Nicholas fell unconscious. The colonel also notices that Nicholas has been extremely anxious lately and seemed to be afraid of something. It turns out, shortly before Halloween, disturbing dreams about a well began to haunt him, and then a streak of failures began to occur in his life. The adults decide to check the well. Suddenly, terrible howls come from within it, and a vague shadow flickers over the water. Pete even imagines that something is calling his name. In shock, the adults decide to seal the well, and lo and behold, Nicholas comes to his senses. However, something in his behavior has changed. He begins to make creepy toys and surprise the townspeople with unkind practical jokes. Rumors circulate the city that anyone who does business with him begins to be haunted by bad luck. Pete suspects that this man is not his father at all. In his dreams, he sees the well again and hears Nicholas' voice coming from its depth. Returning to the well, Pete looks inside and sees a reflection of his father in the water. Together with Anna Sherwood, Darkwood's ace reporter, he learns more about the history of this well. Previously, a castle belonging to a wealthy aristocrat stood nearby. On Halloween night, the spirit of bad luck knocked on his door in the guise of a traveler and offered him a prosperity amulet in exchange for food. The rich man gladly agreed, but after that he began to be dogged by continuous failures, and soon he went bankrupt. The next Halloween, the ruined rich man was sitting at the well when the spirit again appeared to him. The rich man tearfully asked him to fetch his last gold coin, which he had accidentally dropped into the well, in exchange for his soul. The spirit climbed into the well, anticipating victory, but could not leave it because the coin turned out to be enchanted and it imprisoned him there. But why did this spirit possess Nicholas? Pete and Anna meet with Nicholas and demand an answer. The spirit agrees to explain, but only in exchange for some seemingly harmless object. They bring it, and the spirit tells that when he was a child, Nicholas threw a stone into its well to prove his courage to his friends. This offended the spirit. He yearned for revenge for a long time, but was only able to leave the well when Antoine accidentally scooped out a coin along with water from the well and put it into the cake that Nicholas received. And now he intends to corrupt Darkwood and turn it into a city of losers using the items that Anna and Pete brought him. Whoa, what an interesting story. And I quite like that it ended at such an emotional high point. Not knowing if Darkwood will be saved or not gives the story a scarier feeling. What do you think? The next story is quite similar to this one, as they both were drafts for the same update, so they both centered around Nicholas and the mysterious well. This year is going to be a special Halloween. The pumpkin harvest turned out to be excellent, and to celebrate Halloween, the townspeople arrange fun festivities. Both old and young treat themselves to sweets and tell horror stories to each other. Nicholas is persuaded by Pete to attend the party too. He feels extremely anxious and doesn't know why. Nightmares have been haunting him all week, and even in real life, sheer bad luck seems to follow him. A black cat crosses the road wherever he goes, and the unlucky number 13 appears to him everywhere. Antoine wants to comfort his friend and invites him over to laugh at the antics of fate and try one of the prophetic pies. Inside each is a small trinket that will predict the future, a golden nut, a ring, etc. He tries one of the Antoine's prophetic pies and finds inside a small clay pumpkin with a cruel green. The baker is surprised because he did not put any such pumpkin in his pies. The local children decide to play at a well. It is said that if you make offerings on the night before Halloween, whisper a spell, and look inside, you can see a prediction of the future. Amy says she saw her dolls come to life and go marching. Ben saw Myers Molkett reward him for his services, and Pete saw himself in the land of eternal Halloween, surrounded by pumpkin-headed creatures. Nicholas says that as a child, his mother forbade him to go near the well, as she believes that monsters lived in it. But one Halloween night, the children persuaded him to throw a stone into the well to prove his courage. When he looked inside, instead of his reflection, he saw a pumpkin-headed monster with burning eyes. A rumbling voice came from the depths of the well, threatening him with a terrible reprisal where pumpkins rule the ball on Halloween. Immediately, the stone flew back up and hit him right on the forehead. The other children found him unconscious, and of course did not believe him when he told them what happened. Nicholas wanted to show them the sign on the stone, but it disappeared. Over time, he forgot about this incident, and only the recent nightmares and events made him remember. And this time, it turns out that the pumpkin curse has taken effect. Nicholas sees a sign beginning to appear on the stone. According to legend, the Lord of Halloween lives in the well. You bring him a gift, and he either plays tricks on you or predicts the future. Nicholas's act angered him, and then Halloween came with a vast pumpkin harvest, and the master of Halloween decided to take revenge on Nicholas by taking his son to his country of eternal Halloween. Nicholas can only get his son back by making amends with the spirit. As you can see, the focus of the story is more on Nicholas. And while Pete was supposed to save his father in the previous story, in this one they changed places and now it's Nicholas who should do the saving. Did you like the story more? I like the concept of the Lord of Halloween more, but the plot of the Spirit of Failure seems more appealing to me. Let's move on to the next story. This one was written for another update, 2.8. If you remember, it was called Jeweler's Secret. The plot here still revolves around the jeweler and his story, but now he plays a more pivotal role. A lottery is being held at the jewelry store. Helen decides to drop by, but when she arrives, she discovers that it's already full of people. Gradually, all the prizes go to happy citizens. Someone gets garnet earrings or gold cufflinks, and someone else gets the consolation prize. Finally, it's time to give away the main prize, a necklace with a pure diamond. The woodsman is very worried. He really wants to win, because the necklace will make an excellent gift. The host announces the winning number, 66, and two people climb to the stage: Nicholas and the woodsman. After a little misunderstanding, it turns out that Nicholas has the number 99. However, he is in no hurry to leave the stage and declares that this necklace belonged to his late wife and he wants to get it back. But without evidence, the jeweler refuses to give it to him. The woodsman hesitates, but takes the necklace for himself. Saddened, Nicholas asks Helen for help. He is sure that this is his wife's family necklace, which disappeared shortly after the curse came. And Helen asks him for more solid proof that it is indeed his wife's necklace. Nicholas shyly shares that he doesn't know how his wife's family got it. It happened too long ago. Neither the checks nor the original case have been preserved. However, Pete remembers seeing the necklace in his parents' wedding photo. Taking the photo, he goes to the woodsman, hoping that he will be understanding and return the necklace. Meanwhile, Helen is approached by other lottery winners. After winning, they began to notice strange things happening around them, as if something was watching and threatening them. They all agree that it started because of the jewelry they won. Adrian Bloom shares that just recently he saw an ad about a certain sorceress who, among other things, could remove curses, and the prices for her service were very low. Helen and Adrian both decided to visit her, and Helen watches how she performs an elaborate ritual over Bloom's cufflinks. During the ritual, she covers the cufflinks with the magic handkerchief, and immediately a fire breaks out in her tent due to corruption. While Helen puts out the fire, the sorceress returns the cleared cufflinks to Adrian. Finally, Adrian feels at peace. He shares how happy he is that nothing bad happened to him before he found the sorceress. After some time, the woodsman and Nicholas come to see Helen again. It turns out that the woodsman would be happy to return the necklace, but he already gave it to the flower girl. The news about the cursed jewelry had already reached him. He was just on his way to check on her. The flower girl reports that she also witnessed frightening phenomena, ghostly silhouettes in the windows, ominous howls, and someone's footstep heard only at night. However, after investigation, it turns out that all this is the work of someone made of flesh and blood, perhaps not one person, but a whole gang. In the end, we find Pete and his friends in the flower girl's basement. They have a metal pipe in their hands that makes a sound similar to a ghostly howl. The kids claim that it was not them who played a prank on the flower girl. They themselves heard strange noises and came to investigate. Nicholas sends his son home to think over his behavior. The flower girl is ready to return the necklace to Nicholas. He just needs to pick it up from the sorceress, to whom she managed to take it. When they get to get it, they find neither the sorceress nor her tent. The colonel comes to the rescue. He says that he has already received complaints from the clients of the sorceress. After the purification ritual, it turned out that all their jewelry had been replaced with fakes. With his help, they managed to go to the lair of the criminals and take them by surprise. Everything stolen was returned, except for a diamond necklace. With genuine fear, the leader of the gang declares that it is truly cursed. The thieves have been tormented by rustling behind the wall and ghostly reflections on the mirror. Because of this, they destroyed it. The gold was melted down, and the diamond was hidden in such a way that no one could ever find it. The colonel leads the criminals away, and the distressed Nicholas thinks about what to do. Suddenly, we hear a rustle behind the wall. One of the wood piles slides aside, and the one who steps out of the shadows is Pete. The lair of the criminals was full of secret passages that they themselves did not know about. Using them, Pete and his friends had scared the gang. The boy recalls that his mother told him where the pure white diamond gets its name. It is so transparent that it becomes invisible in the water. Using the hint, the group finds the diamond in the aquarium. The jeweler sincerely repents and offers Nicholas to repair the necklace for free. The necklace is restored and returned to its rightful owner. Oh, what a happy ending! To be honest, I find the story a bit hard to follow. So many things are happening all at once. But it's fun too, isn't it? Although, I'm still curious. How did the jeweler get Nicholas' necklace? Some questions are meant to be left unanswered. And that's it for this video/podcast. Did you find some aspects of this story scary? For me, they seem to be more fun than scary, but I like the fun, spooky stories more than the scary ones anyway. Hope you enjoyed them. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to discover more about Seeker's Notes. Happy upcoming Halloween, and see you next time!